The first thing they don't tell you about alien companionship services is how quiet the apartment feels before they arrive. Not peaceful, anticipatory. Like the air itself is holding its breath. I stood by the window of my 32nd floor unit, watching neon traffic stream through the lower levels of New Jakarta arcology. Above me, the sky shimmered with orbital lanes and holographic advertisements projected directly onto low-orbit clouds. One ad pulsed brighter than the rest, repeating the same promise in 12 languages. Temporary companions. Legally sanctioned. Emotionally safe. I had told myself this was just curiosity. A one-night experience. A story to tell no one. After the Orion conflict ended, alien species were no longer myths or invaders. They were clients, refugees, diplomats, and sometimes products. The Companion Accords allowed registered non-human beings to offer short-term social contracts with humans. No intimacy required. No obligations afterward. Strictly regulated. That was the rule. At exactly 2100 hours, my door chimed. I opened it expecting something obvious. Green skin. Tentacles. Something cinematic. Instead, she looked almost human. Almost. She stood a little taller than me, slender but not fragile, her skin a soft pearlescent silver that caught the room's light like moonstone. Her eyes were too large, irises shifting color slowly, like oil on water. She wore a simple dark robe, no shoes, and around her wrist was a glowing compliance band, the symbol that this was temporary. Client designation, Elias Rowe, she said softly. Her voice had layers, as if several tones were speaking in harmony. I am Companion Unit Lyrian. Duration, 6 standard hours. I nodded, suddenly aware of how fast my heart was beating. You can just call me Elias. Her head tilted. Permission to shorten identifiers granted? Yeah, that's fine. She stepped inside. The door sealed behind her with a quiet hiss. For a moment, neither of us moved. I should explain the terms, I said, reciting what I'd memorized. No physical intimacy unless mutually requested and logged. No emotional dependency. No extension of contract without council approval. I am aware, she replied. However, human clients often say these words to reassure themselves. That caught me off guard. Do they? Yes. Most are lonely. I laughed weakly. Guess I'm predictable. You are statistically common, she said, then paused. But not uninteresting. We sat. We talked. At first, it was surface level. My job as an urban systems analyst. Her assigned cultural knowledge downloads. But slowly, the conversation drifted. She asked about my childhood, why humans decorated living spaces with objects that had no functional value. I asked about her world, and she hesitated before answering. My species is called the Valari, she said. We evolved in constant psychic proximity. Individuality is fragile among us. So this job, being alone with humans, it's strange for you? It is terrifying, she admitted. And freeing. Hours passed without either of us noticing. At some point, I realized she had removed her compliance band. It lay dormant on the table. That's not allowed, I said quietly. She looked at it, then at me. The band restricts emotional variance. I wish to experience the full range. You could get decommissioned. I am aware. I should have ended the session right then. Called the oversight authority. That's what the rules said. Instead, I said, do you want tea? Her eyes glowed brighter. Yes. Later, much later, she sat on the floor, legs folded beneath her, listening as I played an old acoustic recording from before the arcologies. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Something about her presence made the silence feel shared. When the 6 hours ended, the apartment chimed softly. Contract complete. Companion unit to return. Lyrian didn't move. You have to go, I said, though I didn't want her to. She looked at the door, as if it were a void. I do not wish to. That's not how this works. For humans, perhaps. She stood slowly. But my people do not experience time as you do. This night is not something I can discard. She stepped closer, not touching, just close enough that I could feel warmth radiating from her skin. Elias, she said, carefully pronouncing my name. May I ask for something forbidden? My throat tightened. What? May I stay? Before I could answer, the building alarms flared. Red light flooded the apartment. A synthetic voice echoed. Unregistered companion behavior detected. Security inbound. I grabbed her hand, without thinking. It felt like holding light. There's a service hatch, I said. Maintenance corridors. We can. Run, she asked, almost smiling. Yes. We didn't stop until we reached the abandoned lower levels, where the arcology met the old drowned city beneath. There, surrounded by rusted steel and flickering biolights, she finally spoke again. If I return, she said, my memory of this night will be erased. Emotional contamination. And if you don't, I will be hunted, studied, possibly terminated. I looked at her, this being who had crossed galaxies to end up as a rented comfort, and made the only choice that felt real. Then don't go back. We disappeared. Weeks passed. Then months. We lived in forgotten spaces, on the edges of human infrastructure. Lyrian learned to exist without psychic connection. I learned what it meant to truly share silence. She laughed more often. She dreamed, something her species had never done alone. But the universe does not ignore anomalies forever. They found us. The Interstellar Compliance Authority surrounded the sector with drones and translation fields. Their envoy spoke through amplified light. Return the Valari unit. Amnestic cleansing will be merciful. Lyrian stepped forward before I could stop her. I am not a unit, she said, voice steady. I am an individual. That status is not recognized. She turned to me, eyes shimmering with emotion that had no regulation code. You gave me a night, she said. In that night, I became more than my design. Tears burned my eyes. Then stay. She smiled sadly. I cannot, but neither will I disappear. She walked toward the light. For a moment, I thought I'd lost her. Then the sky changed. Valari ships emerged from folded space, sleek, luminous, alive with psychic resonance. A message echoed across every channel. We have been listening. The Valari collective had observed her choice, her individuality, her refusal. They did not reclaim her. They redefined themselves. Months later, alien companionship programs were dismantled. The companion accords rewritten. The Valari recognized individuality as a protected state. And Lyrian? She returned, not as a companion, not as a fugitive, as an ambassador. She knocked on my door again one evening, no compliance band, no timer. I was told humans value beginnings, she said. I smiled, stepping aside. And endings. She shook her head gently. No, Elias. I stayed because this is neither. She never wanted to leave. And this time she didn't have to.